Very sad loss today for the Kardashians. The matriarch of the family has passed away, Kris Jenner's mom.
For decades, the Kardashian-Jenner family has seemed almost untouchable. They built billion-dollar businesses. They conquered reality television. They became fashion icons, beauty moguls, social media superstars, and global celebrities. But behind one of the most powerful families in entertainment was a woman who rarely needed the spotlight for herself. Her name was MJ Shannon. To millions of fans, she was simply known as MJ, the mother of Kris Jenner, the grandmother of Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie, and the beloved matriarch who quietly stood at the center of one of the most famous families in the world. Now, the Kardashian-Jenner family is facing one of its most emotional losses. MJ Shannon has died at the age of 91, and Kris Jenner's heartbreaking tribute revealed just how much her mother truly meant to her. But MJ's story is much bigger than the death of a beloved grandmother. Because long before the cameras, the luxury brands, the billion-dollar companies, and the global empire, there was a mother, a woman who helped shape Kris Jenner. And through Kris, her influence reached every corner of the Kardashian-Jenner dynasty. So who was MJ Shannon? What was her relationship with Kris Jenner really like? And how did this seemingly ordinary mother become one of the most important people behind one of the most extraordinary families in modern celebrity culture? This is the story of MJ Shannon and the legacy she leaves behind. The heartbreaking news on July 16, 2026, Kris Jenner announced that her mother, MJ Shannon, had died at the age of 91. The announcement was deeply personal. Kris did not simply describe MJ as her mother, she described her as the heart of the family. And in a tribute filled with grief, Kris reflected on the lessons her mother had taught her throughout her life. To love family fiercely, to be kind, to show up for the people you love, and never to take a moment together for granted. For someone like Kris Jenner, whose entire public identity has been built around family, those words carried enormous meaning. Because if there is one thing the Kardashian-Jenner empire has always revolved around, it is family. The business meetings, the holidays, the arguments, the celebrations, the reality shows, the endless headlines. The entire Kardashian-Jenner world has always been presented as a family story, and at the very beginning of that story was Kris's mother, the woman who helped shape the person Kris would eventually become. Kris also made it clear that she saw her mother's influence everywhere. In her children, in her grandchildren, in the traditions that continued from one generation to the next, and perhaps most importantly, in herself. Kris said that there was not a part of her that had not been shaped by her mother. That statement explains why this loss is so significant. Because for Kris Jenner, losing Mir was not simply losing a parent. It was losing the person who had been part of her life for more than 7 decades. Who was MJ Shannon? To millions of viewers, MJ became recognizable through appearances on Keeping Up with the Kardashians and later the Kardashians. But her life began long before reality television. MJ Shannon was born in Arkansas in 1934. She eventually became the mother of Kris Jenner and her daughter Karen. And like many parents of her generation, MJ experienced an entirely different world from the one her family would eventually inhabit. There were no social media platforms, no reality television, no billion-dollar beauty companies, no cameras following the family everywhere. The world in which MJ raised her children was vastly different from the world her grandchildren would later dominate. And that is part of what made her presence so interesting. She represented a connection to the family's past. Whenever MJ appeared on screen, viewers were not simply watching a celebrity grandmother, they were seeing a glimpse into the history of the family. The person who came before the empire. Before the fame. Before Kris Jenner became one of the most powerful mothers in entertainment. The woman behind Kris Jenner, is often described as one of the greatest celebrity managers in the world. She helped transform her family into a global entertainment brand. But the traits that made Kris so successful did not appear from nowhere. Her ambition, her ability to organize, her intense focus on family, her determination, her ability to survive difficult moments, and her belief in the importance of staying connected, all of these qualities were shaped by her upbringing. And MJ was an important part of that foundation. Kris has spoken repeatedly about her mother's strength and the values she passed down. The idea that family should remain close, that difficult moments should be faced rather than avoided, and that love should be shown through presence. This may sound simple, but in the Kardashian-Jenner world, it became almost a philosophy. The family could fight. They could disagree. They could experience divorce, heartbreak, scandals, business conflicts, and public criticism. But they continued to return to the same central idea: family comes first. And that philosophy was something Kris connected directly to her mother. Mari was more than a grandmother for the Kardashian-Jenner grandchildren. Mari was not simply an older family member. She was a familiar presence. Fans saw her interact with Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie. And what made Mari so memorable was that she did not always behave like a traditional television grandmother. She had her own personality, her own humor, and her own opinions. She could be funny. She could be blunt. And she was not afraid to say exactly what she thought. That personality made her especially popular with viewers. In a family often associated with extreme wealth, luxury, and carefully managed public images, MJ sometimes brought something completely different. She felt real. She was older. She had lived through decades of change. And she had a perspective that could not be manufactured. That is why fans often responded so warmly to her appearances. She was a reminder that behind the glamorous image was still a family with grandparents, parents, children, arguments, jokes, and memories. MJ's legacy inside the Kardashian empire. When people talk about the Kardashian empire, they often focus on Kris Jenner. The businesses, the television shows, the beauty brands, the fashion companies, the billions of dollars. But every empire has a beginning. And sometimes, the most important people in that story are not the ones standing in front of the camera. Why her death feels different for fans. For longtime viewers of the Kardashian family, MJ's death may feel surprisingly personal. Many fans watched her on television for years. They saw her joke with the family. They saw her interact with Kris. They watched her become a familiar face within the Kardashian universe. And when a person appears in your home through television for years, their absence can feel strange. The family continues. The shows continue. The businesses continue. But one familiar face is gone. And that is why MJ's passing represents more than a celebrity death. It marks the end of an era. The original Kardashian-Jenner matriarch is gone. But the influence she had on the family is not. Mary Jo MJ Shannon was never the biggest celebrity in the Kardashian-Jenner family. She never built a billion-dollar beauty company. She never became a global fashion mogul. She never needed millions of followers. But she was something even more important. She was the beginning. The mother who shaped Kris Jenner. The grandmother who connected generations. And the woman whose influence quietly reached one of the most powerful families in the world. Kris Jenner once said that her mother was the heart of the family. And now, even after her passing, that heart continues to beat through every generation she helped create. What is your favorite memory of Miss Shannon from the Kardashian family shows? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this emotional deep dive into the lives behind Hollywood's biggest families, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because the most powerful celebrity stories are not always about fame. Sometimes they are about the people who were there before the fame ever began. And MJ Shannon was there from the very beginning.